welcome to CCJP Conversations. In our conversation today, we discuss COVID-19 and justice and peace in our communities. While coronavirus global pandemic is a reality across nations, justice and peace remains a fundamental topic, and this dialogue tries to explore views around how we can maintain social cohesion in the midst of all this noise. My name is Vimbai Chiweshe with CCJP, and it is my pleasure introducing the Archbishop of Harare, who is also Bishop President of Zimbabwe Catholic Bishops Conference, His Grace Robert Christopher Ndlovu. Welcome, Sekuru.
Thank you very much.
To begin, Sekuru, maybe to just break the ice, please share with us what your experience with COVID-19 has been personally and maybe in the Archdiocese.
Well, a lot has happened. It has disrupted a lot of activities in the Archdiocese. Mainly now that our communities cannot meet for worship, and there's frustration which goes with that, both on the part of the faithful, but also on the part of the clergy. So there's a lot it has affected a lot the people. But on the other hand, it has also maybe strengthened the faith of some. Now they realize that to be a Christian, to be a Catholic, does not mean going to a church building on Sunday, but that you really have to live that, your faith, even within your four walls. That now some people have learned how to pray together as a family, and that I think is the positive side. But generally it has disrupted quite a lot of activities of the church, suspended even our pastoral plan, and many other activities that we could have been engaged in. We have just shelved them. So that has been a big blow.
Okay, so good. And in your view, what are the effects of COVID-19 in promoting social justice and community cohesion in Zimbabwe?
Well, one of the things that I think, which I think would have to touch CCJP quite a lot, is you have to look, for instance, what is happening in quarantine centers. These quarantine centers, the conditions under which people are living. I think that is really something that CCJP has to look at. Then you have also, we are told that the entry bribes, people are not following coming from other countries. They are not going through the marked borders. And that some of use kind of, yes, and they bribe their way through. So these are some of the things that I think CCJP has to realize, because those people become a danger to society. So there's need to do that. Another big issue also that I think it could be important for CCJP is to look at the way the COVID-19 donations are being used. Are they really reaching the beneficiaries? Are there some people enriching themselves, lining their pockets because of the issue of the COVID-19? We've already had cases, I think you're aware, that are in the courts regarding how things, even tendering has been done and so on. I think that is a big issue for CCJP, to get to the bottom of some of the things wherever possible and highlight these ills. I think it's a big challenge for CCJP. Yeah.
I think you've given us a big task and also showing the role that the church can play through CCJP in addressing these issues. During the lockdown, there have been a series of violence, some said to be perpetrated by state actors. What initiatives can be driven by the church to encourage local people to lead in peace building?
These things of violence, I think what we need to do as a church, and the CCJP in particular, is really to have our facts, not to rely on social media. I think we need to get into the ground and find out who is doing what, really. And then once we've come up with our own facts and researched, I think we have to bring that to the fore, and without any shame, whatever. So this is what is happening on the ground. And I think when we speak really loudly about what we know, we have our facts in place, I don't think anyone who can accuse us of having any sinister motives. But we need to get our facts right. not rely on what is social media. There's so much about which because of this COVID-19 and all these things in social media that we have to take with a pinch of salt. I think that is world over. It has been even realized that things sometimes we get wrong information altogether. But let us get to the bottom of it. Yeah.
We have a lot of work to do in terms of going onto the ground and seeing what is really happening. Sekuru, how is the church working with government organs, so for example, the National Peace and Reconciliation Commission, among others, in building social cohesion?
Well, I think what is important, what I can point out really, first of all, is that I think we have to realize that in terms of confidence, people trust rather. Our people trust the church quite a lot, more than I think I would say this National Peace and Reconciliation Commission. I think that's a fact. So why? Because it tends to be, it is a government organ. People have their own suspicions. So I think we also as a church we have to create platforms where we can even then invite government organs to come in. But we have to create that. That means having gained ourselves the confidence of the people. Let's bring also the people of the National Peace and Reconciliation Commission to come now and kind of present themselves and their agenda. But I think in mobilizing the masses to come together and discuss these issues that have to do with reconciliation and so forth and peace, I think the church is in a better position because we are seen to be non-aligned or apolitical, if you want to put it that way.
How can social cohesion be maintained in the midst of social distancing?
I think one of the things I think what it really brings, we have now to operate maybe in target small groups, which we are manageable, which will respect the social distancing. I think now, and smaller groups, concentrate on smaller groups, and then put the message across, and try still to see what we can bring to our people. Instead of always thinking of a big numbers, I think let us now go into these small groups and put our message across. Maybe even it can be more effective than just relying on kind of big groups, large numbers. I think so.
I think I agree. Maybe let's use the smaller groups.
Yes, I think
that's
we
what we have access to
now.
Exactly. So we'll definitely be working on that recommendation, Sekuru. What do you think is the best way to communicate with people on social cohesion currently, bearing in mind that this may well reignite tensions and disrupt any existing cohesion and community development?
It's quite difficult. I mean, it depends really what subject matter we bring across to these people. There are certain issues that if we bring across, even at this moment, they are quite sensitive. And so we have to there to try by all means to be also aware of that and respect certain issues. But there are certain things that I think we still have to highlight even in these conditions that in fact maybe have to go also with COVID-19. The way people are interacting at the moment. Is there something there to say to the people about that? It's a real matter. Maybe you need to clarify to me a bit more what really you are looking at, because we cannot discuss issues now of say violence easily. In this kind of situation, it may not be. It may be difficult, but at the same time, as I said before, if we have facts, let's still talk about it.
So the facts will help us
Yes.
find a way to
I think the facts will help us.
because we know exactly the concerns of the people and we know where to direct them accordingly.
Yes, and now we know it is also with our economy down, people are struggling. They are really struggling to make ends meet, and that creates conflicts on its own, even within families. It creates conflicts when people have nothing to eat. Even the father has to fend for the children, the mother has to fend for the children, also want something that done. So I think we have to look into that and see how best we can still bring about communities together, families together.
As the Bishop President of ZCPC, have you received any feedback on the pastoral letters you are writing from the various stakeholders you have been engaging through them, and what have they said?
Well, you see, we have written some of late. Of course, we did write some pastoral letters, but all of a sudden, this COVID-19 disrupted everything. So we may not have got the responses directly, but I think there is something still to be that can be done, especially through our commissions. I think, for instance, if our commissions can take up from where we have left, we issue pastoral letters, and maybe it is now the task of some of our departments or commissions now to make sure that the message reaches the people as much as possible. Ourselves, we are there, we put it there, the message for everyone to read. Also, our own Catholics or other Christians, or all men and women of goodwill. But it is now, I think, to our departments to look into that, and what concerns CCJP, what may concern maybe Caritas or health side, and take it up from there and put the message across to the people.
I'm sure as commissions we can come together and see how best we can assist in the dissemination.
Yes, even started the letters that we produce and see exactly what is our task now after this pastoral letter. What can we do as commissions or as various organs of the ZCPC of the church?
No, we'll definitely take that up separately. The Zimbabwe Heads of Christian Denominations launched a Speak Out campaign against gender-based violence. And we noticed many cases being reported during the lockdown caused by the pandemic. How has the church put in any measures to support the victims?
Well, let me put it this way. The issue of gender-based violence, especially during the time this COVID-19, is a worldwide phenomenon. And I think it has been recognized that once people come together, spend the day together, locked in together, somehow tensions tend to arise. So it's a global problem in the face of COVID-19. But I would say generally, I think gender-based violence, even without COVID-19, has been there. And I know some of the organizations have been helping us, our donor partners like CRS, to run some of the programs that address the issue of gender-based violence. But this is really an ongoing thing. Maybe I come to our commissions who are trying sometimes to address this maybe with our donor partners. It's something that I think we need to work on. Maybe it has been highlighted more by COVID-19, which is true. And I think I will maybe now specifically point out what program is in place. But I know definitely something has been going on, and I know our donor partners like CRIS have been helping us on that.
The Bishops' Conference issued a statement on constitutional amendments, and the lockdown has limited the physical space for dialogue. What can the church do to create room for dialogue in communities?
Yes, we have to strike a balance, in my opinion, to try to find a balance, which is not easy. But can still engage relevant departments or officials to register church concerns. I think that is still possible. That is, for instance, we have even in government secretary this Commission for Human Rights. I think that is one we sometimes maybe we just have left it there. But I think we need ourselves to also to make sure that we keep that commission, even government commission, busy. We have now even ZAC, Zimbabwe Anti-Corruption kind of commission. We have to also I think it is important as a church, maybe not to shy away from this organization. In fact, maybe our contributions may strengthen their cause, then their mandate. So I think we can still go to and register our concerns. As I said, if we have really evidence of what is going on, we can go to these commissions and work together with them. Let's not shy away from them because they're government.
it still comes back to the facts. As long as we have facts,
Yeah, as long as we have
we
facts.
can take a conversation.
Because otherwise,
forward.
otherwise we really, after all, we are told shut up. We have to have our facts right here.
How is the church responding to the socio-economic impact of COVID-19, especially in regard to the most vulnerable?
I think our commissions, as you know, are like the foot soldiers of the church. So they are there on the ground, and I expect them now to come up with some of the suggestions in areas like that. One of the things I think what we've done, we've appealed to donor partners for food relief, which I think they've responded fairly well. Medicines, even our hospitals have remained really quite busy. Strange enough that even our rural hospitals, people are coming from towns to go there, and they are really overwhelmed by people. Again, it's simple also because we have medicines, sometimes better than government hospitals. That's one of them. And of course, they know that they may not have enough money. The vulnerable people, they don't have cash. But when they go there, we will not turn them away. We try by all means to attend to them to the best of our ability. We try to do that. And also, as I said, concerning our donor partners, we have also managed, even during sometimes the strikes of doctors and nurses, with the help of our donor partners, sometimes we've tried to cushion a bit the medical staff in our hospitals, and they've kept open. And that, again, quite a good number of people go there, especially those, I said, who cannot afford some of these private and very expensive institutions. So we've tried our best there, I think, to meet and I said, medicines sometimes we're better stocked, even some of these public hospitals.
I think we're grateful that the church is also taking up its role in assisting communities.
Yeah, exactly.
Especially during a pandemic like this, people need all the help they can get. We hear about corruption cases in both public and private sectors of Zimbabwe. How does the church respond to this?
Let us acknowledge, first and foremost, that corruption has permeated all spheres of our society, church included. Let us accept that, it's a fact. Yeah. Not the government departments at all. And I think even here the private sector, they are culprits in this way when it comes to corruption. There's a lot of corruption going on there. So it's a cancer that I think we should all try to get rid of. Yeah. Unfortunately, with the economic downturn, it's not easy to address it. It's not easy to address it. For some, what you call corruption is a matter of survival. Yeah, it's a matter of survival. Yes. I'm not condoning, but I'm saying we have to notice that in view of our economic situation. For some, it is, I have to survive. So to survive, I have just to do this. Yeah, that's right. And then for the others, especially the rich, it's a matter of greed. And I think that's where we have a problem. The biggest problem. It's a matter of greed. Just sheer greed. Now, so as a church, I think we need to expose corrupt individuals or institutions. We need to do that. And again, there it is I appeal to our commissions to help us there. So they are foot soldiers. Let us see what is the root cause of this, and who are the people involved. Sometimes we go for the small fish, but sometimes there are big fish there behind, driving the whole issue there, of issues of corruption. Yeah, money laundering and what have you, something like that. So, but as a church, I say we need to do that, to expose this. But as they say, don't throw stones if you live in a house of glass. We have to make sure we are clean ourselves. Otherwise, what we say can turn against us. Because if as a church, we are supposed to have that moral authority in society, and we are seeing ourselves to be on the wrong side. If we try to say something, it comes back to us, and then it can hit us very badly. So that is why if there's a bit of corruption or corruption in the church, it takes the headlines. And I think we shouldn't be alarmed by that. It's another way of challenging church. As a church, this is something least expected of you. So I think that is when, therefore, we have really to make sure that we are clean ourselves and then deal really with the people involved. I mean, corruption is killing everybody here. It is a cancer that really has permeated, as I said, the society as a whole. So that is what I would say. Let us expose corruption for what it is. Yeah. So I think you know that even some of our members in the church have been dragged to court because of corruption. So it's a fact of life. So really, I think that is what we can do, but we cannot. And hoping that if we expose that, it will go to the courts and the people will be kind of punished for the wrong they have done. And where possible, I support strongly myself. Where possible, especially when people have really deprived the resources of the country, of the nation. Restitution is a must. It's a must. I think they have to pay back what they've taken from the society, and quite often, sometimes they have taken it from the poor to enrich themselves. I think that for me is a matter of justice. It's a matter of justice. Yeah. Oh, okay.
I think the last response was very heavy indeed. Any last words, Sekuru, to the people who will hear this conversation?
I think that we have a lot to do together. Of course, the church, and all concerned. When I say the church here, I'm not talking of the bishops, the priests. I'm talking just about all the people of God and all men and women of goodwill. We have a big task ahead of us, especially in the situation we find ourselves in the country. Economically, we still have to really address all the ills or conflicts that are there in our society. Some of them have tried to sweep them under the carpet. Unfortunately, they keep on coming up and they're choking us. So we need, I think, to look into that. And then now with this COVID-19 that has come our way, I think it has really made the life very difficult for all concerned. I think it really becomes a call to all of us to see whether we can kind of try to find each other and try to see that we can build a better society together. And then maybe like that we can move forward. Of course, the church then has a role to play there as a kind of even intermediate where it is possible to bring people together. Civic education is important for us, which we still have to address, because we see some of the conflicts we are talking about it's around elections, around constituencies. So we need to, I think the churches have a big role to play there, and I think we need to take up that challenge very seriously. Yeah.
I think Sekuru gave us a big task as CCJP and the rest of the commissions in the church. And as he rightfully said, the church is not just the priests and the bishops, but we all have a part to play. From CCJP, we'd like to thank you very much, Sekuru, for sparing your time to talk to us. And thank you to our viewers for watching. Enjoy the weekend, Sekuru.
Thank you so much. I wish you the best in your tasks.
Thank you, Sekuru.